What's up guys? So today I'm going to be making a video talking about all of the Sun and Moon era booster boxes, and we're going to rank them in terms of investability in 2024. We have the same setup as the Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era. We have God Set up at the top. You have buy a case, buy a box, only deals, and trash. Obviously, with Sun and Moon era, it's going to be a bit harder to buy a case of certain things, especially something like Team Up. That's just not really realistic. And it's definitely not what I'm recommending people do. It's kind of just, it's the arbitrary name that I put in said category for the ranking system. If you want to put S, A, B, C, D tier, whatever you want, I'm just ranking it in terms of investability, in my opinion. So also this video is not super planned out. We are going to look at some data, but I kind of like doing these a bit more on the fly because normally I'll give one or two bad takes and then people will run to the comments and bash me for it, which is okay because it boosts it boosts engagement with the algorithm, so I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, anyways, let's get into it. Sun and Moon base. So before we move this, we'll look at we have all the data over here. So Sun and Moon base. This data I actually did a day ago, rather, almost 2 days ago when you're seeing this. So $273.81 current market value. Annualized ROI, if you take $100.55 buy price of about 15%. So not a bad ROI. And the top 10 card value is about $250. So we can go take a look at these. Obviously, you have the Lily Full Art. You have a Rainbow Umbreon, Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Espeon Rainbow, another Umbreon. So Solgaleo behind it, and then a couple other gold cards. So nothing too special. It's a base set. It's kind of what you'd expect from a base set. The return rate, not too bad. I mean, 15%, that's pretty acceptable. I don't think it's going to grow much more than that in terms of annualized ROI. So I'm going to put this in buy a box for right now. And again, at the end, we may move things around. I think 15% return annualized is pretty decent. That's a solid return rate. Obviously, you got to factor in your selling costs and stuff like that. So, yeah, it may move down to only deals. We'll see as we go on, but we'll leave it there for now. Next up, Guardians Rising. Let's see where you're at. We can actually just delete these as we go. Guardians Rising. Obviously, you have the Sylveon at the top. You have Mallow behind it. Rare Candy. What else? We have Ninetales, a lot of energy cards, and then a couple Sylveons and Decidueye. So yeah, not too much going on for Guardians Rise. And if we look at the annualized ROI, it's actually doing better than base set at 22.54% annualized ROI. And then the top 10 card value is pretty much the same, around $250. So yeah, decent annualized ROI, better than base set, surprisingly. Obviously, base set, I believe, was printed a lot more than Guardians Rising. I could be wrong on that, so if someone knows exactly, please correct me. But for now, we're actually going to put this probably in buy a box and put it in front of Sun and Moon base. And again, once we get a better idea of what the list is looking like, we'll probably move some things around. So I'll leave it there for now. Next up, Burning Shadows. Obviously, we're going to have the Charizard. We'll see it here in a second. But annualized return of 23.53%, so 1% higher than Guardians Rising. Top 10 card value, almost $700, and most of that is, in fact, the Rainbow Charizard at $413. Behind that, you have the Acerola, Waifu, cool. Couple energy cards, Wiki, a few other gold cards. So really, I mean, the set is so top heavy. Like, it really just is the Charizard and then, Acerola at $62. For this reason, and just because I don't think it's gonna, obviously do much better, I think a lot of these sets too, maybe we have to start grading a bit tougher. I'm gonna put this in only deals for now, actually. And I may actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in buy a box. I'm gonna move Guardians Rising and Sun and Moon base down to only deals just for now, because I do like Burning Shadows in the sense that it's got a massive chase card, and obviously I think that's going to do better than just sets with really low value that kind of saw big increases just because a lot of Sun and Moon saw increases. So for now I'm going to leave it like this. I'm okay, but I might come back to that in the future. We'll see. Next up, Crimson Invasion. You have the Gyarados at $30. Lucamine at around $30 as well, and then not too much else going on here. Let's see. If we go to the current market value, it's $211. Lowest one in Sun and Moon by far, 12.21% annualized ROI. Top 10 card value, $156.29. Yeah, we're going to be putting Crimson Invasion in trash. Sorry, guys. Obviously, remember, any of these could be put into only deals. if you get a good enough deal. Like anything is worth buying at a certain price, right? So that's kind of not the idea of the video, but it's more just to rank them all. Crimson Invasion, by far the worst set in Sun and Moon, so it's got to go in the trash category. I'm sorry, there's not much to it, so that's where it's gonna end up for now. But before I go any further, you guys, 80% of you almost still aren't subscribed, but you're watching these videos. So if you're getting value, if you're getting entertainment out of these videos, I'd really appreciate if you guys could give me a subscription. Obviously, it's free to do. It helps me out a lot. We're on the road to 1,000, so thank you all for being here. And that's all I'm going to say right now. So moving on, we're going to be in Ultra Prism. So when we look at Ultra Prism, we have a $675 market value with an annualized ROI of about 36%. Now this is interesting. When we look at the top 10 cards, obviously the Lily, $420, almost insane. Licia at $268, Cynthia at $120 almost, Luzamine again over $100, insane. Mars, I mean, this really just is the waifu set, right? So, and then you have a Leafeon GX down there. I mean, it is waifu. If you look at the price of this Lily, it's dropped like over $100 in the past 8-9 months. So obviously with the massive waifu craze, I'm gonna put Ultra Prism in buy a box. I'll put it in front of Burning Shadows, obviously. I do like the set. I think some people talked about it being short printed. I'm not too sure about that. I mean, some things in Sun and Moon were. Obviously, this was before the big COVID boom, but I like the set. Obviously, I think waifu will do decent long term, but I don't think it's going to be the best option, and we can already see that. Like, the craze happened. A lot of these cards are coming back down, so this annualized ROI, I think, is a bit inflated for Ultra Prism, but we'll see. Time will tell. Next up, we have Forbidden Light. So when we look at Forbidden Light, $436.64 current market value, 28% annualized ROI. Top 10 card value of $335. We can take a look at these. Obviously, we have the Lucario GX. We have an Energy Recycler, Greninja Rainbow. So nothing too special. Diantha, Dialga GX, Ultra, Necrozma GX. So really just, a few rainbow cards. I'm not a huge fan of rainbow cards. Nothing super special. So I'm probably going to put this in only deals in front of Guardians Rising and Sun and Moon base. I think I'm okay with that for now. And I'm really starting to question if I want Burning Shadows this high, but we'll leave it here for now. I'm okay with that. Next up, we have Celestial Storm. And when we look at Celestial Storm, surprisingly $712 current market value, over 41% annualized ROI, and a top 10 card value of $620.66. We can look at these cards. You have Licia up top, $270 almost. Rayquaza GX over $100. Then you have a TV Reporter at $50. Rainbow Energy, Underground Exploration. So a few trainer cards, a few rainbow cards, but really up top you have the Licia, and then you have the Rayquaza GX, which is kind of carrying the set. I actually don't mind Celestial Storm. I like the name. I like the box art. Again, waifu card up top. It's not my ideal situation. You have a Rainbow Rayquaza. But, I mean, the numbers aren't lying. It's doing pretty damn well. I think people like this set. Again, I think with the waifu elements a bit inflated, so I'm going to put it in buy a box, and I'm going to put it behind Ultra Prism for now. I think I'm okay with that. Next up, we have Lost Thunder. When we look at Lost Thunder, we have a current market value of $626.78, annualized ROI around 40% as well, and a top 10 card value of $580. When we look at these cards, obviously we have the Lugia up top, $145. Mimikyu GX Rainbow around 70. Suicune GX over 60 as well. Mina over 60. That's pretty cool. Again, more waifu. Whitney, $56. Professor Elm's Lecture, $55. Tyranitar GX around 40. Lugia GX Full Art under $40 as well. So really, again, some waifu. The Mimikyu is really cool. Suicune as well. And then Lugia up top. Again, I'm not a huge fan of rainbows. Obviously, some people like them more than I do. Fair enough. I'm going to put this, let's see, I'll probably put it behind Celestial Storm and Ultra Prism in buy a box. I don't think it's worth buying a case or, putting it higher on this list. And I think it's better than Burning Shadows, obviously, even though it has less top 10 card value. But I think, let's see, let's compare the ROI rates. Lost Thunder, you're looking at around 40%. Burning Shadows, 23.5. So I'm okay with putting it here. I think that's fine for now. All right, so this is the part of the video where it's going to get spicy. We have Team Up. Team Up for me is going to go in, wait for it, buy a case. Yes, I'm going to put it in buy a case. I'm not actually going to put this in God Set, guys, which a lot of people probably will agree with. And even by the logic of return rates, it doesn't make too much sense. So Team Up, $2,074.08 a box. That's an annualized ROI of 79% and a top 10 card value of $2,000, essentially, a little over $2,000. Obviously, you have the Latias and the Latios up top. Gengar Mimikyu GX, you have the Magikarp Whale Lord. These are all around $250. And the Latios, obviously $760, way up there. Eevee Snorlax 130-ish, Erica's Hospitality 125, Sabrina's Suggestion around 120 also. A Gengar Mimikyu Rainbow over $100. Pikachu Zekrom at 94-ish, and then Jasmine Fuller around 76. I don't even know if that's 10 cards or not, but yeah, I mean, obviously the Latios is just such a beautiful card. Obviously tag team as well, super huge thing of that era. It's definitely the go-to card. It's kind of like the Umbreon of Sword and Shield. But with that said, the box price is just so high and so inflated. And again, I understand annualized ROI. It's crushing basically anything in Sun and Moon. But I think that it may be that set that we've already seen a ton of growth. And over time, I think that annualized ROI may come down a bit or even a lot, to be honest. And I think there's one set in here remaining that I'm going to put above it, simply just for the growth factor we could see in the future, in my opinion. So Team Up will go in buy a box. Next up, we have Unbroken Bonds. When we look at Unbroken Bonds, market value $619, annualized ROI of 44.4%, $840 in top 10 card value. When we look at the cards, we have the Gardevoir and Sylveon. We have the Reshiram and Charizard. You have the Greninja Zoroark, Green's Exploration, Red's Challenge. So, you know, Marshadow, Marchamp, Blastoise GX, Pokegear 3.0, Gardevoir, Sylveon again. So, again, up top, we have the Gardevoir, Sylveon GX, big card, Reshiram, Charizard as well. So, pretty decent cards. I mean, again, annualized ROI over 40%. These were all the sets in the back half of Sun and Moon, the tag team sets that have really exploded. I'm not huge on the cards. I don't hate them. Do I think they're going to do well long term? Sure. Do I think Unbroken Bonds is better than Unified Minds? I actually don't. And for that reason, I am going to put Unbroken Bonds in buy a box, and I'm going to put it in front of Ultra Prism if I can just squeeze it in here. Let's see. Like so, I'm okay with that. I do think Unbroken Bonds will probably do better than Ultra Prism long term. Even, again, it's crazy to me that Ultra Prism has a card value of almost $1,200. So much of this is carried by waifu, though, that I can't justify putting it any higher on this list, even though, you know, you have such a stacked lineup in here. I understand people's ideas are going to be much different, but for right now, I'm going to leave it there. I'm okay with that. Next up, we have Unified Minds. I'm going to put this in buy a case behind Team Up. Again, Unified Minds, $657 current market value, 49% annualized ROI, and a top 10 card value of $862 almost. So we see a little bit higher price than Unbroken Bonds. We see a little bit higher top 10 value and a little bit better annualized ROI. Personally, I just think Misty's favorite. Again, waifu, I'm not the biggest fan of waifu, but it's going to be a thing in the future. But on top of that, you have the Mewtwo and Mew GX, which I just think is a better card than the Gardevoir and Sylveon, even if it's slightly lower in price. Mega Sableye and Tyranitar is very cool as well. It's rare we see Sableye, even though, especially in Japan, it's a very popular Pokemon. Again, below that, you have the Raichu and Alolan Raichu, still over $100. So you have a bit more upper end depth, obviously not a ton more, but the top cards just it's a bit noticeable with the top cards. Slowpoke, Psyduck, again, like really good tag team combination cards, right? Like Slowpoke, Psyduck, the Raichu, Sableye, Tyranitar is a bit of a weird pairing to me, but again, beautiful cards. So yeah, I think Unified Minds is just slightly better than Unbroken Bonds, and I'm okay with this. And finally, Cosmic Eclipse is going to go in trash behind. No, I'm just kidding, guys. We're going to put Cosmic Eclipse in God set. And I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with this. A lot of people are going to give me shit in the comments saying, what are you doing putting it above Team Up? I understand when we look at annualized ROI, Team Up is beating Cosmic Eclipse by about 17%, which I mean, fair enough. The numbers don't lie. If you invested in Team Up, you would be doing much better. I think Team Up's seen a lot of the growth it's going to see. When we look at Cosmic Eclipse, right, like the set is very deep. And again, Waifu up top, Rosa. Arceus Dialga Palkia, that's nice to see as a second card. Lily in third. Lily is probably like the waifu queen out of all waifus. So any set with a Lily, again, I put Ultra Prism quite low on the list, but that's really because the entire set is waifu. Whereas Cosmic Eclipse, it's not the entire set, even though 2 of the top 3 cards, or 3 of the top 4, technically, even 4 of the top 5, you could argue, because Solgaleo and Lunala is in 5th place. But again, beautiful cards, but let's go a bit deeper, right? You have the Blastoise Piplup, you have Red and Blue, very cool card. Reshiram and Zekrom GX, that's over $90. Also, Charizard Braxton. What else do we have? Malo and Lana. Let's try and go to the second page, see if it loads here quite quickly. Because my favorite card, and again, maybe this is just biased. We'll get to it. We're going to have to go a bit further down. You have the Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. You have Reshiram, Zekrom again. Again, all these cards are around $50, right? Charizard Braxton Full Arts, 40. Vileplume GX, cool. Let's see, Ends Resolve. So again, the set is so deep. And here we come to my favorite card in the entire Pokemon TCG. This is the only card. People ask me all the time, Grayson, do you do singles? Do you do slabs? Do you invest in that? No, I don't. But there's one card I own, and it's a PSA 10 of this Pikachu, SM, I believe 241, yeah, SM 241 card of Pikachu with red. It's obviously just reminiscent of my childhood. And again, that's not the only reason I'm putting Cosmic Eclipse up here in God set. I think that over time, we're going to see these annualized ROIs balance out. So my guess would be over time, I think that number of that annualized ROI is going to come down. And I think that potentially it's going to be around the Cosmic Eclipse level. And right now, what I see is a really good opportunity to get in Cosmic Eclipse, especially for a lot of people, considering that the box price difference is over $1,000, right? So a lot of people don't have $2,000 to buy a team up box, whereas they might have $800-900 to buy a Cosmic Eclipse box. I don't have any of these Sun and Moon boxes personally. The only real Sun and Moon stuff I have are some sleeve boosters, and I do have a few team up sleeve boosters. But yeah, if you're gonna get into Cosmic Eclipse or any other Sun and Moon set, just go with the booster boxes. I think that's the best choice. And I think that, let's go back to the list here. Let's see if there's anything I want to change. I was tempted, and I may actually just move Burning Shadows to the front of only deals, like so. I think this is a better list. Lost Thunder, I think Lost Thunder as well, you could even argue moving down to only deals, but just based on, having Lugia and some of the cards in there, I think putting it at the end of buy a box is okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to move up to buy a case. Do I really want to move Unbroken Bonds up to that level? I think I'm actually happy with this list. I'm gonna leave it as is. I totally understand if people had basically any of Unbroken Bonds, Ultra Prism, or Celestial Storm higher. I totally understand if some people have Lost Origin, or Lost Thunder lower. I'm talking about Lost Origin way too much on this channel at this point. And I totally understand if people want to put Team Up higher, Cosmic Eclipse lower. Again, these top 6-7 sets, I think most people can agree are going to be very good investments long term. It just depends how much you want to put into it. But for me, I'm happy with this list. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you would change. Let me know where I am going crazy. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.